Well, hey everybody and welcome. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. And today is Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, and this is your virtual financial team prosperity meeting. I'm super excited to see Mike's presentation today, and I've got just a few things that I wanted to go over. So let me go ahead and pull up my presentation and get it started. What an exciting time right now, July 1st, 2020. It's just a great time for the business. And of course, we've got a great 4th of July holiday coming up here in a few, over the weekend. So anyways, of course, the offices are going to be closed Friday. So if y'all are trying to call like WFG or any of the carriers and you have to get things done, over the weekend, just remember you want to make sure you do that today, tomorrow, because a lot of I'm so sorry about that. I just heard that you all can't hear me. If you cannot hear me, if somebody can just drop a text message or something, please let me know. I'm hoping that was just one person. Okay, anyways, I'm back. I apologize about that. Anyway, so if you have to do anything, make sure that you do it before Friday, which is going to be, a time that a lot of things are going to be closed. Anyways, I don't know if you all got this email about the new E&O coming with more options. We've been looking forward to this time. We're going to have all kinds of new, options, different payment methods for E&O, and I'm very excited to see that. You could see that beginning July 15th, we're going to have, more information about that. So kind of stay tuned as I find out. I'm definitely going to be going over it as well for everybody. Also, check your WFG alerts regularly. If you go into your My WFG and you click on My Business, you should see the green thumbs up, the all good. So hopefully you're doing that on a regular basis, at least once a week. And a few intro call tips. So wanted to talk about getting back to basics. It's really showed that the longer that I talk to people, the better the conversation goes. So my advice is spend more time getting to know people and listening to them, because they're going to reveal, what it is that they're looking for. I have a great example for you. I was talking to a girl last week, and she was telling me, she's a consultant. She has, all of these successes, and I just let her talk, and she's like, honestly, though, I'm just kind of at a pivotal point. I wanted to connect with you because I saw your background. Tell me more. I might be looking into building an insurance agency. So if I would have cut her off in the middle and said, hey, we're independent consultants too, and let me tell you about me, I wouldn't have gotten to the fact that she actually looked me up and is interested in me and what we're doing. So I knew which way to take that conversation. So, getting back to the basics was really important for me, because you want to make sure you let people talk long enough. So even if those intro calls aren't done in 15 minutes, maybe they're taking 22 minutes or whatever, it's still definitely worth it to pre-interview them on the front end and find out, how are we going to be able to help them? Is there a solution that we can provide to, make their lives better? Use all forms of follow-up. I have another person that I've been trying to get a hold of, an elderly guy. He went on vacation, and I never heard back from him. Well, you can't forget that you can text people, call people, email people. LinkedIn, if you're talking to them on LinkedIn, maybe they got off LinkedIn, so make sure you use other ways to get a hold of them. So what I did was I put him into my WealthWave, and I saw that he opened my email, so I called him, and I'm like, hey, it's been a while. I never, heard back from you. Are you okay? And he said, yeah, I'm retired. I just never got back on LinkedIn. And now he's looking at, some stuff for clients and, different solutions that we can help him with. So you just never know. And you really can't really mess up too bad. I did the funniest thing, and this will happen. Like, you make mistakes sometimes. Instead of my calendar link, I accidentally sent somebody like a link that had nothing to do with anything, and it was kind of, I don't know. I thought that I would totally throw her off, and I'm like, Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to send you that. I'm not sure where that came from. It just kind of slipped out. It was in my memory somewhere. And I still got her on the phone, and she can't do anything more for her business, but they did just buy $1 million in term each, like 2 years ago. So now we're looking at $1 million each for living benefits. So laughing at yourself and making mistakes, like a little bit earlier when I didn't know if I had sound or not, we're all humans. So sometimes in the marketplace, like your struggles and your stories about how you overcame, that's what people want to see, right? Nobody's perfect, and it's okay not to be perfect. And I need to take my own advice more. I got to get myself in front of a video camera and start doing videos and stuff, and trying to be motivated by people like Gary Vee and stuff that, never prep. They'll throw on an old hat and, and they'll jump on a video. So anyways, we all have to try to grow and get better all the time. Of course, after the intro call, if you're not doing a help call or a how many works call, you're probably leaving a lot of stuff on the table. So if you just stop at one message, it's just not enough sometimes. Like, how often do you get a message from somebody and you forget to reply, and if they don't follow up, it's dead in the water. So make sure you have some kind of follow-up list, and the easiest way for me is for using automation. You're leaving a lot of contacts and conversations unresolved if you're only doing one intro call, greeter message, and that's it. Just on my average, about 8% of the people will want some kind of help with something. So don't forget to do a help message if you're targeting a certain audience. And another 3 to 6% are going to want to know more about our how many works message. So, just make sure that you're touching on people at least 2-3 times with messages, and staying organized, and, just go through the process and follow up. I was going to put it on here 3 times, but it's really one of the, most important things. If somebody is interested in talking to me and I'm not in front of my little sheet, my LinkedIn follow-up list, I will take a screenshot of it and I'll go back, every few days and make sure that those people are on my list and continue to follow up until it's resolved. And let us help you. It's such a great thing that we have. We have this amazing tier system where you don't have to wear every hat, but just make as many contacts as you can and we'll help you. Make the contacts, send the videos, follow up, and from there, let us help you with it, So anyways, I'm a strong believer this is the right place, this is the right time right now, July 1st, 2020. I'm really excited to be here with everybody. Let me go ahead and grab Mike. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, July, it is here, and we are, some of us, I feel like we're in a good movement and a good rhythm. Some of us are kind of stalled out. So what I want to help with on the continuation of what we did last week is just go into a little bit more of the psychology that can help you in the marketplace, talking with people, attracting some better talent into your organization. Remember, at the end of the day, it's not what I can do, not what you can do. It's who else can we bring into this system, this business model, this infrastructure, and let them run wild with it. You get richly rewarded for being a talent scout at this point in the business cycle. Let's go through some things today that will help you build your business. Like I said, it is July 1st. Normally, this is a slow time of the year. However, anything you do now could have an immediate impact on your business, and anything you do now starts to build that pipeline for the fall, which August, September, October, 3 best months for us, and a lot of other business industries as well. Remember, I just want to keep you guys reminded that there's a lot of money already on this IMO platform paid out that we are already accessing. We want to build and use our digital advantages to carve out more and more and more of a piece of what already exists, but also what we're building up to, which is $4 billion in the next 2-3 years. So understand where we are now, where we're going, and what you need to do to capitalize on that. If you guys are doing the 12-week here with us, great. If you're not, I just kind of like to give you a quick review. Week 1, we went through vision. You've got to have a vision that probably includes a couple selfish things to keep you motivated. Week 2, we went through the goals. Goals are going to provide you with some type of a endpoint for, in this instance, the 12-week year. And then week 3 went through the tactics. Tactics are your game plan. This is how your attack mode. This is what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis to reach those goals. And quite frankly, the 12-week year teaches you that the most uncomfortable stuff that you don't want to do is the most important stuff you actually do need to do to go and reach your goals. Last week, we opened up a multi-week series, and we're going to conclude it this week on psychology and marketing, psychology and digital marketing, some of the things that you need to understand when you're out there about the people or the audience that you're getting in front of, and how to effectively communicate with those people to have them, or at least a certain percentage at any given time, raise their hand and say, yeah, I need help with this. Yeah, I want to talk to you about this. Yes, I'm interested in this. So go back and review that if you need to. And then previously, kind of with the same theme of psychology, we had a previous meeting, I don't know, a couple of months ago. It was framing conversations, closing language, handling objections. A lot of that's on the financial professional closing deals, but it helps all of us to frame conversations because it provides, you're leading them, and they're going to either fall in line and do exactly what you want them to do, or they're going to give you a reason not to. If you fail to frame conversations, they can go off in a lot of different directions. You feel like, hey, I'm wasting time. I was on the phone, way too long with this person, and it went nowhere. Framing conversations will help you avoid that. Key piece of time management. So what's your primary motivation in recruiting? Obviously, it's going to be to build in the beginning a small core nucleus group of people that can help you start to build multiple legs of distribution in this country in this industry, which is a very large industry. So what you're looking for is talent. And when you're out there talking to people, you need to understand what you say, how you present yourself is very, very important. You've got to provide the people. You've got to provide the human element of this whole process. And when you understand who you're looking for and how to effectively communicate with those people, you're able to build something that sticks. If you are not able to identify the right type of personas, you can build big, but there will never be any growth there. So what you understand is, who do I need to bring in to make this successful? You're one recruit away from explosive growth. And so when you understand how to attract talent, the possibilities that next recruit will give you explosive growth starts to grow. So understand that when you look at yourself and look at what you've done inside your business, there's always a reflection point, what's working, what's not working, so you can continue to tweak the process entirely until you've got it down to pretty much a science. Remember, the value of anything in your business, don't overvalue anything, but don't undervalue the possibilities. Remember, a lead is just something for you to do. A client is somebody that you helped out. A partner can go in a lot of different directions. Partners with activity, partners that are part of your core group, and partners that are going to create distribution legs for you. So a lead can obviously end up down here, but don't put too much value on a lead, and that's what we're going to be talking about. As you create leads, as you're talking to people, if you get in front of the right type of people with the right message, you should get some of this outcome into distribution legs for yourself. It starts up here, and the psychology of marketing, the psychology of recruiting starts right up here. And if you know what to do, why to do it, how to do it, really how to open, continue, and direct conversations to an endpoint, things will start to fall in line. When it boils down to what makes, all of us successful in the business world, it's not about how much money. It's not really about how many clients we have on our books, whether we smash that sales target. All of those are important. But, if we look at the achievements of the business, none of that would be possible without the right people working behind the scenes. I mean, look at our team. You guys, we're working hard. We're putting things together. Without all of us, Team Prosperity is nothing. Virtual Financial is nothing. So understand that your most important part of this whole entire process and what you do, especially in the beginning stages, is learn how to attract talent into your organization. It's about people that are going to match, the company's needs and values, what we're doing, our missions, ensuring that you have the right people, the right role, that want to go in the right direction. If you fail to get those aspects right when you're hiring and recruiting, you're going to fail in your business. So you have to understand, once again, who do you need to bring in to be successful? People are the linchpin to the business success. And like I said, if you don't get that right, you're unable to move forward, grow, and innovate. If you're bringing in people that have different skill sets than you, that are better than you, that is a good leading indicator that your business is going to be very successful. And then when you're talking to people, you have to understand what motivates an individual. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by time freedom, lifestyle freedom. Some people that we talk to in this business are motivated by the financial crusade of the mission, employee to entrepreneur. So you have to understand what motivates the person and then actually what demotivates them. And that's important in retaining that. If you find a good partner, you need to work with that person to help them be successful and retain them in your business. If you're losing people that you think could have been a core part, it just comes back to what we talk about, investing the time in the right people. Everybody can't get your time, especially as your business grows. You've got to look at time as an investment. Am I going to get a return on this investment? And if recruitment, what we do every day, is stripped to its core, matching the right person to the right opportunity with the right organization, it's essential to remember that this starts at the very beginning of the conversation. What you say in the first few moments is going to start to lead and start to create some type of an endpoint. Now, if you say the wrong stuff, if you don't say the right stuff, it can lead in a lot of different directions, and all of a sudden you have no idea what's going on. That's why we have a script, we have a system, and we have a defined way that we try to reach people and get them to action steps. If you get in the habit of demanding action steps from the other side, you're going to resolve your leads. You're going to start to bring in the right people, and that starts, like I said, at the very beginning of how you market and how you open conversations. The right personas. So you have to understand who you work with best, who you want to work with. Somebody could be a superstar, but if they're not the right fit for you or your organization, they can cause havoc. So recruiters need to understand what type of individual and character is going to best suit their team, their direct partner, the company, and initial challenge. Remember, it's about matching personalities as well as matching skill sets as well. You don't want to dread talking to somebody on your team because of X, Y, or Z. So we talked about how to use psychology to improve your digital marketing campaigns last week. And I think that was really understanding, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and either understanding a known problem or a perceived problem and offering solutions, but really digging in and making them realize that there are certain outcomes based on the decisions they make. So you can go back and review that. Today, what we want to talk about is hiring secrets, recruiting better, and how you can do that. One of the ways that we have greatly improved our business model, I feel, in the past, let's say 6 months or so, is integration of WealthWave 360. We've got our own channel there now. It will continue to build out in the content. So in a traditional model, like having a brand new suit, nice car pulling up, whatever it is, a high-rise office, the WealthWave 360 is going to give you, psychologically speaking, that look and that kind of powerful presence. So it looks good. Make sure you're using it. You don't want to overwhelm people. There's a lot of stuff there, but you do want to give people a little bit of taste to understand, where you're coming from. And the way that you present yourself online is one of those kind of first impressions, and it has to be strong, has to be powerful. WealthWave 360 can help you with that. You've got to be upfront and honest. If you're bringing in people under the wrong pretenses, under false pretenses about what this really is, it's going to be disastrous. And then if you have people falling out, quitting, not completing training, that's a very, to go through that, it becomes a grind. You want to have people spun off the tier 6 to have an activity, being excited about this, and being engaged with this. You need to be upfront and honest about what this is, what we do, how we do it, what we're looking for. And I think the more honest that you are with people, you're going to start to filter people and sort people pretty quickly. But people are going to respect you for that. Hey, if you know exactly what you're doing and exactly how to go in the marketplace and be upfront and honest with people about really what this is, you will attract the right type of people just from beginning to create that persona. You got to be excited about something. Find something every single day to be excited about your business and share it with somebody. In my opinion, there's a lot to be excited about. We've got a lot of great tools. We've got infrastructure, partners, opportunity. There's a lot going on in our business. I think each and every day, review and psychologically for yourself, find something to revisit about why you got into this business that you were excited about. Start to share it with your marketplace in a way that, like we've talked about before in past meetings, stories of transformation, stories of outcomes, they work very well online especially. And you got to have self-confidence. In the marketplace, that's going to command a lot of what you're looking for, which is directing people to action steps, directing people to the next step in the process of evaluating them as a client or a partner. That doesn't come from knowing everything about the business or every product or every service. If you're brand new, your self-confidence, and really all the time, your self-confidence from my perspective comes from being scripted, comes from having a system in place, and comes from knowing that you have partners, that you're not out there alone. If they've got a question that you don't know, you don't have to BS your way through. You can put them in touch with somebody who can give them all the answers because we've heard all the questions. So it's important you understand how to build self-confidence in the beginning, and when you have that, what that does to the other side. It attracts people in to want to talk to you. So if you are finding yourself just kind of winging it on the phone and going in random directions and, just kind of talking about this and that, go back to a script. Go back to bullet points. And then what that's going to do is help you command that conversation. That builds self-confidence. And like I said, that starts to, lead the other side, because on each and every one of your phone calls, somebody's going to lead, whether it be you or the other side. And if not you, it's going to be the other side. If you lose control of the conversation, who knows what's happening. You also need to know how to become successful in our company, because when somebody asks you, well, how do I become successful in your company? What do I need to do? If you go into some long explanation that they don't really understand, they're going to say, I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't think I can do this. It's got to be short. It's got to be a pitch. And you really need to work on a business pitch for yourself. Imagine yourself going on a show like Shark Tank, and you were going to present your office, virtual financial as an opportunity, whatever it might be. What is it that you're going to say? Should be pretty well rehearsed, and it should be something that you can go back to each and every time without much, difference in the language and verbiage. So understand how to become successful in our business, and then understand how to explain that to somebody in some very kindergarten, elementary language that they're going to understand. Listening is not only about waiting. So, if we're talking too much on the conversation, that's not a good leading indicator. So, yes, it's about waiting, waiting our turn, waiting for the right points, but it's also learning how to ask better questions. And that's really important. So we've got our typical questions that we ask. We've got our typical ways that we want to control a conversation. If you find that when you're having conversations that you're finding new questions that are working, you want to add those, and you want to kind of refine your list until you find something that is definitely on point, that's working for you, that's getting the type of responses back from the people that get you the information to do what the only thing we want to do in marketing and recruiting, uncover a problem that we have a solution for that leads to an action step. You also need to understand from the psychology of marketing and recruiting that our mission, our vision, what we're trying to do is well received. If you get excited about financial literacy, teaching people how money works, that whole process, the growth potential behind that, that need in this size industry, or you get excited about the other mission, employed an entrepreneur, giving people control, giving them a newfound freedom for time, lifestyle, giving them a legitimate chance to work towards financial freedom. All of these things people want to hear more about. And once again, going back to being excited about stuff, being self-confident, having a good look with the WealthWave system, all this stuff starts to come together. And when you understand how to put it all together, there's a psychological effect on the other side. They start to believe, hey, in the right situation where we're speaking to the right person, they start to know or understand, I think this person can lead me to where I want to go. Action changes things, and you've got to understand that you can't just talk in circles. You can't let the other side talk in circles, because if you allow that, there's some people out there that you'll have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 conversations with. Next thing you know, you're talking to them all the time and nothing is happening. That comes back to what we talk about, being scripted, being bullet point, asking the right questions that are going to lead and direct that conversation to an end point. Demand action. Sometimes action is no. Not interested in your client services, not interested in your business opportunity. Great. That's an action step for the other side. We have forced them to say yes, no. That's very important. Action steps should be in your messages, in your text, in all of your dialogue. It should be asking somebody to do something, and it should be pretty clear. The perfect message is going to be clear and concise. I don't know about you guys. One thing that I can't even get through anymore, if the LinkedIn message is long, I don't even read the whole thing anymore. I don't have time, and it's not interesting enough. So if we're going to react to something that way, other people are going to react. So you got to be, pinpoint in your messages, clear, concise, down to the point. What do you want? Ask for it, and do it in a way that gets right down to the point. If you're too long-winded, you got to go through and you got to chop those messages. If you're too long-winded on the phone, you got to go through and go back to the script, go back to the bullet point. People will drift. People will stop paying attention. And quite frankly, with the attention span these days, people really can't read that much. So get right down to the point, guys. It will help you. Dare to ask for what you want. Start asking for what you want in the marketplace. If you want a certain type of person, address them as that type of person. If you're on LinkedIn and you want to talk to entrepreneurs, address them as entrepreneurs. If you want to talk to insurance agents, address them as insurance agents. When you start to ask for what you want, ask for the people in the audience you actually want, things start to materialize. Not only does the algorithm on some of these social media platforms help with that, but just understanding when you go out and you start to open these conversations, your audience starts to build around that persona, and then the content that you give out starts to speak to that audience as well. So ask for what you want in the marketplace, and then you have to start to negotiate. All your partnerships on this platform are not going to be the same. And when you understand how to put the pieces together to offer value to both sides, sometimes somebody's going to be a referral partner. Sometimes somebody's going to be a full-blown distribution partner. Sometimes somebody's going to be, a financial professional that's looking to, get into a virtual opportunity where there's lead creation on the front side. There's a bunch of different things. You're going to have to negotiate. If somebody's in the position where you can help them without really changing what they're already doing, and that's a big part of what we're able to do with our assembly line and our system, is take people that are in existing industries and existing professions and open up new revenue streams for them without really changing anything that they're doing. If somebody has a book of business, like a CPA, or somebody's already in, something where they're interacting with people and they've got big networks, they can extract value from those networks, but you have to understand how to negotiate with those people to show them the value of what you can do for them and how it's mutually beneficial. You got to play your best hand. And this goes back to the persona. If there's somebody that you want to work with, on the client side, I especially go after self-employed, small business owners, because those people, I've been self-employed my whole life. So I speak their language. I kind of understand the roller coasters of that lifestyle, and I can speak to them in a way that makes sense to them. On the partner side, on the client side, there's going to be people that you can work best with, that you want to work best with, and that you think that you can help out. So understand those people and build that persona, find them, and get messages out to them that make sense to them, and your business will start to build around actually who you want to surround yourself with. You got to take some chances. If you're not confident out in the marketplace, if you're not willing to open up the conversation with maybe somebody who's a little bit more experienced than you, has a little bit better skill set than you, then you'll never be able to bring those people into our business. Take chances out there. It's okay to fall flat on your face. It's okay to fail. But I don't think it's okay not to take the chances. So, roll the dice, risk it every once in a while. Open a conversation with somebody that you might be a little bit intimidated by. The process of doing that, even if it gives you absolutely zero results immediately at that point, goes back to building self-confidence and being able to go out and do that again and again and again. And eventually that will have, huge positive ripple effects for you. Answer each question fast. When you guys are talking to people and they're asking you a question, make sure that if you don't know the answer, you don't BS your way through. Be honest with people. But if you do know the answer, it can't be some long, drawn-out explanation that bores everybody and takes up too much time. Answer the question fast, kind of like a boxer with a jab. Somebody asks you, what's the pay structure like? We have 4 streams of income: personal income, agency income, expansion income, and bonus income. That's it. Don't start explaining all of those. So I want to get to the next question and make sure that we might get to a question immediately after that that's a filter for them not being able to fit in. I spend 3 minutes going through the last question. I've wasted a bunch of time. So answer each question fast. It exudes self-confidence from your side, and they're going to feel that on the other side of the conversation. Keep up. What this means is keep up with what's going on around you. Understand, what's going on. You don't have to be an economist. You just have to know some general, up-to-date news. I mean, we're in low interest rate environments. We're putting on a lot of debt. This is a great time to be in an industry like ours with financial answers and solutions that people are going to be looking for. We talked about before, just generally keeping up with some macroeconomic data and news helps you in the marketplace give your kind of level of expertise that somebody will want to come in and be a part of. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be well-rounded in what you do and what you say. And you got to be bold. And this goes back to kind of taking a chance. Most of the good things that you have in your life came from a being brave and being bold moment. Whether it was asking out your spouse that eventually or asking out that person that eventually became your spouse, or doing something that put you in a better position. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be fearful doing things like this, but it's not okay just to ignore it and stay in that comfort zone. If you get out of that comfort zone, start to take some chances, be bold, watch some good things will happen for you. Understand that our commitment to somebody is pretty intense. We hold their hand, we coach and mentor them for a period of time before we set them out and let them become independent. So there is time, energy, resources coming from multiple directions, and each one of the people that we bring in on the partner side. So when you're talking to people, that's a big deal. That is a huge investment. You're not just signing up and we send you on your way and say, good luck, let me know how things go, or check on the computer to see how they're doing as a downline. We've got a commitment in somebody. There has to be a commitment from the other side. That goes back to the negotiation. You set it up. Hey, if I'm willing to do this for you, are you willing to do this? Because our commitment to somebody is this, and this is what we look for on the other side. Also, learn our advantages, and learn those, once again, going back to answering the questions quickly and fast. Our advantages are the same way. There's no need to go into a long, drawn-out explanation of the advantages. We've got 6 big advantages we'll review in just a minute, but just get through them very quickly. And that, once again, shows confidence. Hey, I answered your question. What's next? Do no harm, but take no shit. And this is really something that you guys need to understand. It's not your job to be berated with questions all day, or to work with somebody that even if you did rebuttal them down to the bone and they finally come in, are you going to want to talk to this person every single day? Are they negative? Do they lead with their problems? All of these things are leading indicators they're not going to be successful. Being an entrepreneur, building the business from the ground floor, not an easy experience. Take some grit, take some perseverance, take some patience. So when you're out there, be steadfast in what you have to offer and the advantages that you have. Don't argue with people, but also don't let people waste your time, and don't, like I said, don't let them put you in a position where you feel like you're just going over and over and over the same information with somebody. That's not a good partner. This opportunity should be seen very quickly by somebody. They understand what we're doing, understand the opportunity, understand what they get from our side, what's expected from their side, and we're good to go. Benchmark failure as well as success. Psychologically, it's going to teach you. This person came in. They didn't make it past the tier system. This person came in. They became, a partner with little to no activity. This person came in. They started to kill it. Benchmark failure as well as successes. It will help you tighten up that persona and understand more about, on the hiring end and the recruiting end, how to make that process better for you and the end partner. Remember, having a partner come in and accomplishing nothing is a waste of time for them, waste of time for you, and a waste of time for us. If we can filter them out early, great. You don't need a number on the board. You don't get paid to recruit. You get paid to bring in talent and build successful agencies. And so understand what's working for you, what's not, so you can repeat and alter. And understand how to look in the future. There's a lot of things that are going on right now in this year, but when you look out at 2021, 2022, 2023, the speed of what happened during COVID in terms of the adoption of digital disruption is amazing. We're probably, 5 years at the midpoint of this decade right now. So understand when you're looking out in the future, the velocity of this model is going to pick up very, very, very quickly, or you are rooting down right now. You're planting roots for that growth that will happen. But understand when you're talking to people, if they've got no forward thinking, if they've got no future for themselves, or they got no future for the industry they're in, if they're an insurance agent, if somebody can't see ahead of the curve or even down the street, it's probably going to be somebody that gets caught up in that cycle of just day-to-day operations. And those people probably belong best in the employed section, W-2 wages. Also understand that when you're talking to people, psychologically speaking, there are decisions that are made and there are outcomes from those decisions. So if somebody, for example, going back to this industry, wants to stay doing something that you guys have already decided in that conversation is not going to be a viable model going forward, how does that look in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? And make them understand that, hey, you may not want to change, but if you don't change, then you are faced with extinction for your business model. And what does that look like for you? What does that look like for your money, your lifestyle? What are you going to have to do at that point? So you are always able to make decisions. That's the human condition. And those consequences of those decisions has to be made, and pointed out sometime, and sometime even drilled in. You're painting the picture. You're painting the picture of a bright future that can happen if these things fall in line, or you're painting a picture of a not so bright future if no changes are made, if we continue on this path. So understand you are looking at possible outcomes on the positive side and possible outcomes on the negative side when evaluating the decisions that somebody's going to make today, and that goes both partner and client side of the business. Sell the dream. Time freedom, lifestyle freedom, financial freedom. These are things that, that are exciting to people. We've got a legit opportunity. I know sell the dream is kind of cliche, but if you learn how to, once again, paint that picture of a future environment where if somebody's willing to do what you're asking them to do over a period of time, what does that look like in the future? Some of those things that we want in our vision are selfish. Some of the things that we want in our vision are not selfish. The charitable causes, sending the elevator back down, helping people out. So understand when you're selling the dream that the vision that we have for ourselves, not going to be the vision that everybody else has. So that goes back to understanding what do people want, what motivates them, what demotivates them, and how to play that when you're looking, in the marketplace, recruiting, selling, whatever it might be. You don't want somebody that says, oh, yeah, I guess I'll give it a chance. I'll join your organization. I hate those words. I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for partners that are going to want to make this happen with me. So this is not somebody that you want in your organization. If you bring in somebody that's iffy, 50-50, I'll give it a shot, there's already not enough excitement on the front end to motivate them. If they're not excited about what they've seen, about what the possibilities are, it's not enough to get them through the day-to-day activities. You guys know, building a business, being there, getting rejected some, doing the messages, just the day-to-day routine, it's got to be something to motivate you. And if there's nothing on the front end, there's surely not going to be anything going through day-to-day. This is who you want. You want somebody on fire that's seen this, that's talked to you, that's reviewed what you have, seen what you have online, and said, yeah, this is awesome. I understand what you guys are doing. I'm excited. Those people can have questions too, but the questions are different. And you'll understand that when you find somebody that's on fire, 100% in this, they're ready to go, yes, they may still have questions, but the questions are passionate questions, and the questions are about future opportunity versus immediate risk today. And you got to understand, you can't pause. So when you understand the filters that we have in place, the personas that you're going to put in place for yourself, when somebody doesn't match that persona, don't try to force it on the partner side. Remember, don't bring in the wrong people, but our system is designed to try to extract value out of that lead for you guys no matter what way it goes. So if it's not a partner opportunity that you discover, don't pause and don't show any type of slight hesitation. Just learn, and this just comes from experience and, once again, being scripted and bullet pointed. Pivot over to that client side. Try to extract value for yourself. Try to set up and try to help somebody on the client side if possible. Now, one special disclaimer on that, if you guys are working inside the industry and people are in financial services, people are advisors, there's no need to pivot over to the client side. Anything outside financial services and insurance, you do have that pivot opportunity. And then think ahead. I know this year has been kind of a bum year. It's like the 2020, the year that really never was. But we'll get through the rest of this. This time will pass, but the things that you do now can make, a huge impact when you're looking at the next 12, 18, 24 months. So think ahead, raise a toast to your future. There's no need to nurse this year's hangover. Same thing when you're talking to other people. If they get caught up in the storm that's happening right now, and that's all they can think about, and they just want to enclose themselves with negative thoughts all day, not the right type of people. Forward thinking, able to see in every crisis there is opportunity. In our business model right now, there is huge opportunity. This is the great migration of both people and money. They will be on the move in the coming months, in the next few years. Capitalize on that, guys. And just some things that will help you. When we talked about advantages earlier, being able to know those, we got a market advantage, social media advantage, compensation advantage, administration advantage, system advantage, technology advantage. You notice I didn't go into any details about that, but I gave them 6 strong advantages right there, bullet point, fast answer, on to the next. Also, you need to understand that when you line up typical agencies as well as some of the better well-known agency building models, we've got nice contracts. We do not have a builder's exchange leg here. That's huge. And then you throw in the virtual digital assets, the way we do business. We are sitting, atop the agency building model. So if somebody wants to build distribution, they want to build an online business, you not only have to understand that what we have is superior, but how it's superior, and able to explain that once again in a very kindergarten, elementary way. And that transfers over to the income calculator. So when we talk about the income calculator, it's not some fantasy land thing that we type up a bunch of numbers and we might get there. You need to use this for yourself, but you also need to use this to understand how to effectively explain how you get to a certain income level, how you build offices, how much you can make off one office, and be able to explain that once again in a clear, concise way. Play around with this a little bit, because at different premiums, whether it be an office or multiple offices in your portfolio, understand what it takes to get to XYZ income levels, because I think people, once they understand that, have a better understanding about exactly what they need to do. And when people understand what they need to do, they fall in line and they start to think about, how do I make that happen? Your partner persona, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. This is mine that I've kind of developed through the last few years. This kind of helps me. And if people fall outside of my partner persona, notoriously, if I bring them in, they don't make it. So that's going back, and that's telling me that this does work. So once again, if somebody violates part of their persona and you think you're just going to fit them in and they're going to be an exception, they could, but statistical analysis says they just won't. And when you're talking to people, once again, answering questions fast, making sure that, clear, concise rebuttal in those instances and those situations. We're not an MLM. We don't get paid to recruit. You get paid $0 to bring people in. So no money is made up off the sign up of a business partner. We don't buy products from a central company, hold them, resell them. We can't buy promotions. So understand that we're structured like the real estate market. That's the easiest way to explain our business model. Brokers are similar to SVPs. We help train them, support them, get them licensed. We help part-time opportunities. And our system invests a piece of our own lives, the upline, SVPs, to make them successful, retain the talent that they bring in, have them progress and make money. Somebody asks you what you do, you want a clear and concise answer, teach people how money works. And we use that information and implement that in their life. What do you guys sell? Well, we have a broker platform that has 200 carriers, 500 products, but essentially on the partner side, you're selling hope and opportunity. You're selling a business ownership opportunity that can legitimately disrupt a $1 trillion industry. And also, don't forget, one of the things that you should be able to do in the marketplace with self-confidence in a very clear, concise, structured way is be able to pick off some easy sales for yourself in the living benefits markets, meaning upgrade. And the question that we developed will give you a pivot no matter what. If I'm talking to you and our conversation's going nowhere, there's no future communication plan for whatever variable reason, I make sure to go back and ask, one last question. Do you pay out of pocket for term life insurance? If they do, have they ever heard of living benefits? They may qualify for an upgrade that includes additional benefits and monthly savings. If they do not pay out of pocket for term life insurance, guess what? Have you ever heard of living benefits? You may qualify for revolutionary new product. So understand that if you get out and you just learn how to, not confuse people, not spend too much of their time, but get in front of them and ask them questions that demand an answer, demand participation from their side, you're going to uncover some stuff for yourself, and that's revenue, income, and growth. Don't be afraid of going out there and putting something out there that may get a negative response. Don't worry about putting something out there and going live and having nobody show up. What could you do if fear was removed? Go out there. You're going to have to start at the starting point. Nobody jumps to 1,000 views on something, hundreds of people on their webinar. Your brain will actually respond to this mentality. Go out there, throw yourselves out there, get out of your comfort zone, and over time those things will become much more comfortable. Also, avoid procrastination. In our business, we can plan and we can prepare continuously. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm working on this. I've got this planned for next week. But if we never get to the performance part, all those top two things do is just continually justify in our mind why we are able to procrastinate, kick the can down the road, and not have to get to that act point where we have to perform. The only difference between a goal and a dream is a deadline. And this is important for you. This is important for, your marketing. This is important for you as a manager. The psychology of, setting a deadline, setting an endpoint. And it goes back to always what we talk about. If you set an endpoint that's far in the future, it gives you the opportunity to procrastinate and kick the can down the road. If you set the deadline closer, it forces you to work. Remember when you were in school, if you had a science fair project, I always worked on mine the week or the days leading up to the deadline, even though it was assigned months before. Same thing here. If you set quicker, shorter deadlines, it forces you to get in there and take action immediately. That works for your partners as well. When you're out there and you're out there painting the picture, selling the dream, talking about future outcomes for yourself or other people, 10x it. This is an opportunity where there is no point of resistance for scalability in terms of capital, infrastructure, the golden opportunity for those that are willing to build, manage, and lead other people. What are you willing to do? How long are you willing to struggle for this? And in the interim period of time, what does that actually look like? There's a period of time as an entrepreneur where you're building a startup, where you kind of feel like you're shut off. You haven't really had too much going on, especially in an instance like this with COVID where there's a lot of lockdown. Things can feel like the days just kind of blend together. A week goes by, you didn't even notice. Just understand, stay to your vision, stay to your goals, stay to your tactics, stay to your daily activities. You are making progress. In the day-to-day trenches, it may not look like that, but you are making progress if you are actually working. And finally, guys, happy 4th of July. August, September, October, normally incredible months, record-breaking months for our team and our company and a lot of other in this industry as well as other industries. So get excited about what's going on. Ignore the naysayers, the haters, all the negative information out there. There's still so much opportunity in this country. If you guys put this together, you can be that person in your family line that actually helps set up, generational wealth. That's a legacy. Not too many other people can say that they're going to develop. So if you guys have any questions, Alana's going to come back on. You guys can talk about things publicly, or if you need help privately, just let us know.
That was amazing stuff, Mike. Let me go ahead and stop the recording, and then we'll open up the floor for questions, comments, anything that we can help with. Thanks so much. Have a great day.